morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Tuesday, November 18th, 2025. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Here's a look at the ES in the daily time frame right now. You'll notice here a bit of weakness here heading into the RTH open. At the moment, price is just below the previous session's low. That's going to be a key level here to watch early on. After the recent slide to the downside, do we see a bit of a turnaround Tuesday develop here today? Still early in the day. We've seen continued downtrending price action. But if price can find a reaction here off the previous low and work its way back up, recover today's midpoint, that could open up perhaps a little bit of a short-term bounce, even if that bounce is ultimately sold. We do have NVDA earnings coming up after the bell Wednesday afternoon, so we still have a day out for that. FOMC Meeting Minutes as well Wednesday afternoon, so we could continue to build out ahead of those events before the next major directional push occurs. But it is notable we're trading below the 55 period pivot-based EMA right now, and to close below it and trade below it here at the very least suggests that the current up move has come to at least a halt. We could be mostly range bound from there, or at most see a period of a pullback after such a break in violation. So something to keep in mind here. But on this pullback, the recent pullback here, lower high for the ES, and continuing to see lower lows on this move, but still well within the confines of the uptrending market and still holding above the 6600 market structure edge. That's the wrong tool there. If we grab the line, 6600 here, 6200 would be the next one down, and 7000 is the next one up. So if price can hold 6600 here, there could be a rally back to 7000. A failure at 6600 starts to open up a return as deep as 62, with 64 as the midline. So that's kind of the framework right now via market structure for the ES. Taking a look at the NQ, similar price action here for the MQ. Overnight and pre-market weakness hanging around near the previous session's low and the previous week's low. Can we recover those levels and turn up for today? Clearly the downtrend has remained intact. Failed new high yesterday. Deep close here opens up a push through the low 9 times out of 10. So again, we're kind of within the confines of the short-term downtrend, but hitting the lower trend line here of the kind of medium-term uptrend. Do we start to turn at some point here off of those levels? And right now the real level is about 24,500. 24,455 is the FOMC key level, kind of in that zone. We could drop a little bit more and then maybe make a move for a late year finish into the 26.5, maybe 27K zone. But a failure here around 24.4, 24.5, and you start to open up the next level down, which could be as deep as 22.8 with a midline around 23.6. So key zone right here for the NQ, very similar to the ES. Looking at crude oil, this one right now still hanging around the $60 level. Quite a bit of energy built up in this range. What was an 8-day, 10-day range has now become kind of a 3-week compression. Nearly a month sideways here as this thing has continued to build energy. We have a very clear compression of range here. And it's all occurring right at the center of the larger key range. That larger key range, big time range right there, 56 up to about 63 nearly. That's a good amount of juice. That could open up a break that can take us up to 66s. Do we get one last drop and then rally back towards 60 and 66? How's this thing going to play out here? Given that the seasonal bearish window is coming into a close here at the beginning to middle of December, one last drop could be a tremendous buying opportunity. We got to see which way we go out of this range for crude oil, but continue to avoid the chop until proven otherwise. Looking at gold, down right now 0.6%, still trending down. The previous session, we were looking for a downtrend here and for any strength to be defended, even as high as the overnight highs. For today, Can we get a high range day out of gold, especially after yesterday's compression? We did get a late day drop, but not getting a continuation as of right now. Instead, seeing a turnaround off the previous session's lows, approaching the previous session's midpoint, still a downtrend in the very short-term time frame. But do we get a return back up to the previous highs here for a 2-day trading range and a short-term outside day up? So watching the previous session's midpoint, as of right now, given the short-term downtrend, previous session's mid, bears want to defend that area and rotate this thing back to the day's lows. 4,000 continues to be the key level here. 4,000. Which way do we go off that level? As of right now, bouncing perhaps modestly, a failure here, and you open up a retest back toward 3,900. Looking at the YM, this one's down 0.8%. Look at that 4-day stretch. Yesterday we quantified this 3-day range. It's the widest 3-day range of the last 100 days. We're seeing now a 4-day stretch. Do we recover the previous session's low at some point and get a turnaround Tuesday? As of right now, trending lower. Full stop run day in effect again, day after day after day here lately. So we've seen quite a bit of stretch. This 4-day range very, very wide. Usually when you get a wide range like that at a trading range extreme, you can see a turnaround. But right now, we're kind of through those support lows. We're well through the 47K level. And this is multiple times now we've kind of failed through that 47K. To not recover that 47K could open up that 45 down below. So right now, big time stretch here. This is in line with the overall trend that we've seen, you know, the pullbacks we've seen within the uptrending market here. So that pullback, this pullback, all of these pullbacks very much in line. But we're getting to the point where if we stretch a little lower here, we're starting to break those major levels. But right now we're still in the point where we could snap back, especially NVIDIA on deck coming up tomorrow. That could provide a turnaround back to the highs and trigger a bit of strength into the end of the year. So we'll see how that plays out on this lower edge. Now, the ones here to be concerned about really is the crypto market, Bitcoin, Ethereum. We've noted since the 125, 127 zone that this was an area where a rejection could easily occur. Such a rejection could turn us back down to 95K to 100K, and we've seen that play out. The recent inverted check mark move has been huge. That's a big time 6-day move right there. And we've now stretched to new lows below 90K for the first time in a while, hitting lows today of 89,325. That's the first time since the breakout back here on April 22nd. So almost the entire move that we've seen up has been given back, which is incredible to think about. If you take today's low, we're only missing this bit of the move from the April lows. And remember, that was a 50+% return from the lows to the 125 level. So that's a big time return. We've almost given it all back right now. This currently is a 29% pullback. This pullback right here was about 32% before it rallied. This pullback from that pivot high to that pivot low was 33%. This was 32%. This is about 29%. It's right in line if this thing was going to turn up. Market structure wise, 75K would be tremendous. So this would be kind of just below that 100K level. But again, it's in line with the broader pullbacks we've seen before the thing is turned around. Is this going to be one of those moments? So got to continue to watch. Even as of right now, with the current rotation down, any pop could still be a selling opportunity as long as price remains below 100K. Looking at ETH, this one's still trading below. Year-to-date VWAP has closed below the 200-day moving average. You have a downward sloping and trending 8-period PIMA. Big time rolling over of the stacked and sloped averages. Just tremendous weakness here that we've seen lately. Now this one is still hanging on to quite a bit of gains from the lows, but this one got punished much more previously. So 2,900 is going to be very, very important here. That's this level here. A failure there and you're opening up at least 2571 and 2150. If it can hold 2,900, it wouldn't be surprising to see a bounce back toward 3650 up ahead, as that is the current market structure we're in at the moment. So right now, on that inverted checkmark move down, do we get a little bit of a bounce? Is that bounce met with another round of selling pressure? Something we got to watch moving forward. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.